Alright, this should be the last little go through on this particular structure and plan, etc. This was just a quick, we had relocated a few windows, done a few things here, and this is just the result of that. You can just see this one shifts a little, and the front one shifts a little as well. This brings us to the floor plan, the final kind of floor plan, and I was remiss is probably the right word on not doing this from the start or doing this at the beginning in that first film or the last film. But this is now the plan I think that you should probably try to build, or something quite similar. I think it's the best use of the space, the best layout, takes advantage of what we have to work with and how you want to use the space. A revisitation of this floor planning arose because you decided you definitely did not want the entrance from the garage coming here at the bottom of the stairs with a wall here and forcing people to walk through the living room to get to the rest of the structure. So the only other way to also accomplish some expansion of the master bedroom was to do it this way. And we don't expand as far as some of the earlier plans, but I think it's a good balance. And I just want to cover a few things about this plan and just a couple little alterations to this plan. And this plan keeps everything open through here, which is terrific. Expands the bedroom by about 30 inches or so, and maintains your entrance from the garage at the center, kind of at the center here, with the hall coming down through to the center of the kitchen, this area of the kitchen. The things I need to mention, though, are a few changes from some of the other plans. I used to have this as a double door closet. I've now split it into two, so it's a little more manageable. Whether this serves your everyday closet for coming and going from the garage, and this is guest coats or something like that coming from here, coming from the front door. Next, this wall, and you'll see in one of the section views that I show, it was kind of, I don't know why they built it so close to this door, but that's kind of an error. I'm not sure if it's worth it, but personally I think it is. From a design standpoint, I think it's worth taking that down, sawing it off, and putting it back up 3 or 4 or 5 inches, 3 or 4 inches over from that, so that we can have a little bit of gap here at this casing, and it just looks a little more correct that way. Whether that's worth the money, I don't know. And notice in this plan also that I have I've gone ahead and reframed this closet wall back, because otherwise we lose a foot in this bedroom. Hopefully it's not too late for that. Showing optionally, you could have another window like this one here. That's probably not possible, and it was just so that I wasn't remiss, I put that in there. One key consideration, even if we went all the way back to some of the other plans that didn't open up this dining room, and it's not what I recommend. As I said, this is the plan I would endeavor to build if I were you. It's the only one that shows this dining room linked up like this. But in any of these plans, regardless of that, this electrical panel, I don't know what they were actually thinking when they faced that into the kitchen. I mean, I don't particularly like it facing into the dining room, but facing into the kitchen, it destroys any kind of opportunity for cabinetry here. And they want to be able to stand in front of that box for 3 feet in front of it, so it would really compromise this kitchen. So one way or another, I think any of these plans are going to require the electrician to rotate this box and face it into the dining room, and then maybe there's some sort of painting or wall hanging that goes over to cover that industrialness. In terms of the framing, to do this sort of thing, it's really not too complex. Actually, the bedroom expansion becomes simpler. We don't need LVLs for this span here anymore. We can use a couple 2x12s pushed up into the ceiling. So this becomes flush through here. A couple 2x10s here. Notably, this is where that existing 2-inch thick bearing wall is here. We do need to thicken that to 4 inches to accommodate the plumbing here and some other things, but you'll just need a couple little 2x8s across the hallway here installed flush. So the framing is not too hateful, really. There is the rotation of this, and I think that has to happen regardless of which plan you use. You may also have noticed that down here, because I couldn't really get an effective door across this laundry machine, it seemed to me that you're probably going to want some sort of door or some way to close that off from all of this down here. So for now I've just shown a pocket door in here. But zooming in to take a closer look at each component or whatever, this is the master bedroom. This is with its expansion. It used to be 9/8, so 10/8, 11/8. So it goes to 12/4. So it's an expansion of 32 inches this way here. Since we were only coming 32, there was no way to put the door anywhere but here. And this is kind of solves a little bit of the awkwardness of that. Provides a linen closet or linen cabinet. And you could really make this a standard closet with a little 20-inch door or something like that. I'm just showing it as a regular full height 2-door linen cabinet. If we go in here a little bit, this is your clearances. Now that's a queen bed frame, not overdone, but it's a queen bed frame. And I'm showing the dimensions so you can compare that to anything that you might bring with you or shop for. There are the clearances. And this is just real quick, there's really only one place to put the bed, and that's where it's shown. You can see that there are other issues. I suppose it could go there, but I'm showing it there. You could shift it back and forth, putting in some other furniture. These nightstands would have to go in front of the window or windows, but you can see there's room for everything with good clearances all the way around. I mean, you could even do it like, you know, have a little chair in here if this was just a chest of drawers. This closet, again, I mentioned I shifted that framing back, and hopefully that will be done. If not, we'll just have to deal with it. I'm showing putting doors on this, 3 32-inch panels. You could probably get by with 3 36-inch panels. And so at any one time, two-thirds of the closet can be open. Moving to the dining room, I'm showing representation of your table and chairs that you have up at your house now, the 42 wide by 66 long. And just for review, even if you add, and I'm showing these leaves at 12 inches, they might be 10 or 11, but even if you were to add 1 leaf or 2 leaves, there's still plenty of room in that dining room, and that's, you can walk past a seated person, and that's with the thing centered. Even a long table like that could be shifted that way some. If you really needed some serious seating for the holidays with that moving island moving out of the road, seating 16 would not be a problem. So for that reason alone, it's besides that, it's all the nice light we're going to get in here. It's the way to go, is opening this up here. And next, we arrive at the kitchen. This is your island, and you can put that anywhere in here that you like because it moves. I think it'll work fine. It's a little, certainly it's more tight than at your house, but there's still room in it, and that goes anywhere you want, really. Turning it that way, it might be desirable, but it's really 32 inches and 33 inches is really kind of narrow and unacceptable. So I think you have to plan on having it in some orientation like this. Since we elected to have this little notch right here and disguise it with that, we were able to end up with quite a bit more at this range bank of cabinetry than I thought. I had told you maybe 15 inches on each side of the range. It looks like we can do 21 inches on each side of the range. I mean, you could go wider if you didn't want this pantry cabinet. But I'm showing an 18-inch wide by full height pantry cabinet, and then with 21-inch cabinets on either side of the your range, your electric range. With regard to this kitchen, one other thing, and really the only critical decision you have to make with regard to the kitchen before it's put together. If this window's already done, it's still okay. It'd be better if it weren't, but if it's already in place for this, it's not the end of the world, and this alteration will still work. And where I'm going with this is a work triangle or whatever between these 3 major kitchen pieces. And this is kind of a big work triangle, not to mention it crosses across over the island. But it's almost 30 feet, which is a big work triangle. The refrigerator is pretty far from the dining room, but it's close to where people are hanging out down in the living room. So you have to decide, and there's really just a couple ways to do this. The range stays over here, of course, and then it's just whether or not you want to flip this kitchen like that, which it doesn't make a super small work triangle, but it's probably a little bit better for flow between these three places. This reduces the work triangle to something close to 25 or 26 feet, which is significant over the long term. But it moves the refrigerator pretty far away from the living room, close to the dining room. So that you'll have to decide on what you want to do there. You can see the window doesn't really move. It moves 10 inches. And so if that window's already been framed here, we would just have to make adjustments with these cabinets. I haven't shown it, but if you really wanted a smaller kitchen altogether, you could put a big pantry cabinet in here, even a standard closet like this, and use that as a pantry. And if you did that, if you did put a full pantry right here that had these opening doors, then you wouldn't need this, and you could get to or something like this. You could see where this changes down here. This pantry comes down here and gets wider, and then this whole bank gets wider where you have 30 inches on each side of the range for plan E. If you didn't want the expense of one of these kind of pantry cabinets, though, it obviously would be easy enough to just put in a standard closet. Ideally that window is there, and I think that's actually pretty close to where it's called out here. In any case, that would be another alternative, and it makes this a larger and more gracious type of cooking center. Squeezes down the space on this here, but gives you plenty of pantry space. This could be all organized with shelves. So, in terms of the kitchen, you need to look at these plans at your leisure and decide, well, depending upon what Jeff's schedule is, either look at these and make some judgments at your earliest opportunity. So we have F, E, C, and B. Okay, this brings us to the laundry facility, and if you look down here, as I mentioned earlier, I really couldn't get an effective door across here. I suppose if some, and I'm still showing almost full, so these are 20, they sell lots of laundry machines that are only 27-inch wide. So if you limit your two machines to 27 each, you could fit standard side-by-side machines in here. I didn't try drawing one with a stack washer because I wasn't sure what we'd do with the extra. I mean, we could do that and then have a much bigger bathroom. Just have a stack machine here and then a closet in your bedroom like this. But the only real advantage you get, I mean, you have a little bit more move-around space in the bath regardless. And if you wanted a tub that was deeper front to back than that narrow 30-inch, this would enable you to go up to a 36-inch tub in that space. And then the combo center down here with a sliding or a pocket door over it. Maybe it's one of these barn sliding doors. I don't know where we're gonna. I need to get some space for at least a switch or two in here. So there's going to be some. Probably this wall will have to come back a little bit so that the door can come back a little bit. But that's a quick look at it if we went to a combo laundry center. Another alternative, which is pretty much unviable, is putting a door. You can see this door is only a 28-inch door, like the bathroom doors. But yes, you could put a 28-inch door on there and probably squeeze in here. I think it's going to be pretty tight. This is assuming these machines go pushed back against that wall, which takes some special installation. There's usually some gap behind the machines for connections, etc. So this is probably not viable, but I was kind of demonstrating the difficulties of putting a door over that area there. So for now, I'm kind of recommending this for the laundry facility, this area here. It's a case of personal preference, whether you want it like that. The only door I can think that reasonably, besides like an overhead garage door, some sort of roll-up door, is maybe a folding pocket door that slides across here. One of our issues again though is having a place for switches to turn on lights when you come in from outside or you're heading outside. And with this arrangement here, with this open through here, I put switches right on this wall here. But things to think about with regard to that. This was, that kitchen, that original kitchen. These are just some quick interior shots, and it's only with that one kitchen. That is that kitchen. It's a pretty huge kitchen. That's the range bank with the 21-inch flanking cabinets. I only show this kitchen, so that's that. This is a section view looking through the master bedroom and the dining room. We're showing the optional window in there. That probably won't happen, but I showed it anyway. And here's where you can see where this wall is squeezing this door and not allowing its casing to have its own integrity. And so on that plan, on all the plans I'm showing, moving that 3 inches, or 4 or 5, something like that. Obviously it's not required, but it's probably a good idea from a design standpoint. The 3 inches in the bedroom, to me, is going to be less important than having this door not be crammed into the corner. I don't think relocating the door that way is an option any longer. And this is a cut through the hall. The bathroom door is here. Here's the open laundry facility, and this is that big doorway that leads to the dining room. And then here's some interior. This was what I was saying. This is what I was saying about that being open through to the laundry facility. That might be just too open. You can see it here. It's a very and I know I don't have the floor. I know this is carpet out here and tile back here. But I thought that probably is going to have a door, just for, if nothing else, to keep some of the noise down from that. And just some finished photos of the same thing. This is the big kitchen again. As you can see how nice that dining room window. Those are those reused windows, hopefully. And that's your table and chairs, etc. There's the range bank with the 21-inch flanking cabinets. Looking in that way. I don't show your island, of course, but and out here, and I know these floor coverings are different, but there it is, the door to the garage, the closet for the coats from this end, and the closet for whatever from this end. And that's with the pocket door closed. So hopefully that gives you enough to think about.